Good afternoon. This is Rashad Mitchell. Come to you live from my YouTube channel as I continue my part series. The week that was college football history in review. The 1961 college football season. Now I'll be doing week 7. Week 7 of November 4th, 1961. The games that were played during that week. So get close to the end of this season. Hope whoever watches enjoys it and like what I've been talking about and discussing. Week 7, November 4th, 1961. We're going to start with Boston College. They beat Iowa State by a score of 14-10. Visiting Cyclones whirled into Chestnut Hill and led almost throughout game. End kicker Larry Schreiber kicked a 41-yard field goal, and Iowa State owned early 3-0 lead. And versatile tailback Dave Hopman picked on 44 and 35-yard pass connections. Last for touchdown to wingback Dick LeMerick in third quarter. Cyclones appeared on track to 10-0 victory. At last, Boston College applied heavy thump to fullback Harry Crump. Crump sparked fourth quarter reversal by setting up a touchdown and scoring another within 4-minute span. He plowed for 28 yards of 62 yards advance. His quarterback George Van Cott chipped in a 13-yard pass and pair of profitable fourth down runs before scoring from 1-yard line. On the ensuing kickoff, Eagles end Joe Sikorsky made fumble recovery at Iowa State 28-yard line, and Crump tatted Cyclones line 5 times, scoring from 5-yard line. So Iowa State defense soon held Eagles, and Cyclones took punt near midfield, but Sikorsky again placed Johnny on the spot, grabbing a fumble recovery at the Iowa State 47-yard line. Next, had Maryland beat Penn State by a score of 21-17. Now nobody knew it at that time, but victory by Maryland over Penn State would turn out to be the Terrapins' only triumph over border rival in 31 meetings starting in 1960. Native Pennsylvanians like quarterback Dick Shiner and end punter Gary Collins were total difference makers. Shiner threw for 158 yards on 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 12 for 20 passing, threw for 3 early scores, last of which went to Collins, who had 6 catches for 80 yards and touchdown receiving. He also punted 6 times for 46.5-yard punt average to provide a 21-6 halftime lead. Collins' receiving yards gave him a new ACC career record of 1,059 yards, topping Virginia's Sonny Randall. Nittany Lions had gotten touchdown in second quarter from halfback Roger Cockman, who had 89 yards on 18 carries and a touchdown, pulled within 21-15 on third quarter touchdown pass by quarterback Galen Hall, and halfback kicker Don Jonas' 28-yard field goal in the fourth quarter. Penn State mounted late assault that started from its 25-yard line after interception by defensive end Jim Schwab. Hall hit end Schwab for 24 yards, and halfback Junior Powell for 44 yards, and Hall and Cockman runs gave Lions the first and goal at the 4-yard line. Barely more than 2 minutes left. But 7-yard loss on sack by blitzing fullback linebacker Harry Butsko and disputed incompletion to Powell doomed Penn State's closing bid. Maryland took over and gave deliberate safety on the 4th down punt snap by center Bob Hacker. North Carolina beat Tennessee by a score of 22-21. Border foes traded touchdowns all game with North Carolina breaking out on top on quarterback Ray Farris, 1-yard run in first quarter. Fumble recovery set up Tennessee for tailback Glenn Glass, 60-yard run that led to tie. First quarter touchdown. Volunteer center linebacker Mike Lucci ran 29 yards with third quarter interception to tie it at 14-14. The tailback Marlon Fairclough's fourth quarter touchdown pass put the Volunteers in front for the first time at 21-14. The Cool Ferris took Tar Heels length of field in 106, hitting hard halfback Ward Marslander with touchdown pass and halfback Gib Carson with 2-point pass with 15 seconds left. Next, Virginia defeated South Carolina 28-20. Louisiana State. This is a matchup between two top 10 teams. Number 2, Mississippi played against number 6, Louisiana State. And number 6, Louisiana State defeated number 2, Mississippi by a score of 10-7. Knowing no number 1 Michigan State had been upset early on Saturday, 6-point favorite Ole Miss saw a nighttime chance to jump to top of polls. But several crucial plays by outgained LSU turned momentum in Tigers' favor. On Bayou Bengals' first possession, halfback kicker Wendell Harris hit the 37-yard field goal. The Mississippi end, Ralph Smith barely missed-blocked it. The Rebel sub quarterback Glenn Griffin inflated his team's air attack just before halftime, pumping 2-yard touchdowns throw to end Wes Sullivan midway through the third quarter. Ole Miss failed on field goal try, and 2 plays later, LSU halfback Jerry Stovall raced 57 yards on a counter run to the Rebels' 23-yard line. But after fourth down catch by end Bill Trax at 12-yard line, Harris circled left end for winning 7-yard touchdown behind cutting block of guard Monk Gilliard. Tigers weathered 2 threats in fourth quarter as LSU guard linebacker Steve Ward made an interception at the own 16-yard line, and defensive end Gene Sykes grabbed the fumble at own 34-yard line to end Ole Miss last bid. Minnesota upset number 1 Michigan State by a score of Minnesota upset number 1 Michigan State by a score of 13-0. Powerful Spartans, who had held 131-10 scoring advantage over 5 prior victims, got scorched midway in the first quarter as halfback Bill Muncy took pitch out 8 yards from Minnesota lead of 6-0. Michigan State proceeded to travel up and down the field, but Gophers' sharp when-it-counted defense, led by fullback defensive back Judge Dixon, center linebacker Julian Hook, tackles Carl Eller, Jim Wheeler, and Bobby Bell, and ends John Campbell and Tom Hall kept the end zone untouched. Minnesota became so occupied by defending its goal line against runs by fullback George Sames and halfbacks Gary Ballman and Sherman Lewis, statistically superior Spartans, that it failed to log even single first down between its early touchdown and last play of the first half. So Minnesota surprisingly took upper hand at start of the second half, making 3 long drives to wrestle momentum and stunningly upset the nation's number 1 team. After Hall's fumble recovery at Spartans' 40-yard line, quarterback Sandy Stevens fired a 23-yard pass to Muncy just inside end line before a quarter touchdown. Next, defensive back Stevens locked up matters with an end zone interception in the last minute. Now, this victory kept the Golden Gophers in first place tie in Big Ten with Ohio State. Speaking of Ohio State, the number 5 team in the country. And this is a matchup with 2 top 10 teams. Number 5 Ohio State beat number 9 Iowa 29-13. Ohio Stadium was filled with to-date record crowd of 83,795 to cheer on rolling Buckeyes powerhouse. Ohio State split open 12-7 game with a 17-point fourth quarter to steamroll number 9 Iowa. Buckeyes opened with 24 unanswered, but non-scoring plays as Cloyd Webb caught 6 passes for 105 yards. Even though Ohio State had no offensive snaps during that unusual 11:53 stretch, Buckeyes defensive end Tom Purdue dashed 55 yards to touchdown mid-air fumble, and he grabbed on a failed reverse by Iowa halfback Sammy Harris. Ohio State made it 12-0 by halftime on quarterback Joe Sparmer's 18-yard touchdown pass after defensive back Dave Tingley's interception. The Hawkeyes fought back with a 73-yard drive to narrow it to 12-7 as quarterback Matt Siscowny sneaked over. Buckeyes were pumped full of fourth quarter inspiration by end Charles Bryant, who took a short catch from Sparmer and flattened it 6 foes on a 63-yard trip to end zone. Ohio State fullback Bob Ferguson had 144 yards rushing, a touchdown on 27 carries, lasted 14 yards for last score after linebacker Gary Moeller 53-yard interception return to the Iowa 20-yard line. Navy defeated Notre Dame by a score of 13-10. Which way ball would bounce had capacity crowd on edge of his collective seats until end. Behind 3-0 out, finding Irish fullback kicker Joe Bukowski 45-yard field goal. Navy fielded punt at own 25-yard line. Sub quarterback Bob Heck lost the long pass that fell among two middies receivers and two Notre Dame defenders, so the ball tipped and came down in the hands of Navy halfback Jim Stewart, who raced the 3-yard line before halfback defensive back Angelo DeVario could head him off bounds. Notre Dame went 63 yards at the second half kickoff to tie at 10-10 in fourth quarter. Irish quarterback Darryl Lamonica dropped back to pass, but underrush lost ball, which was recovered at Notre Dame 9-yard line by Navy guard linebacker John Hewitt. Irish held, but Mathers nailed a 22-yard field goal. So in the final 12 minutes, the Irish advanced to the Navy 42 and 21 and 10-yard lines, and in orderly failure, Lamonica had to punt. Lamonica lost 11 yards on fumble, and in game's climax, in less travel, caught 30 and 20-yard passes from Lamonica, only to be belted at the 10-yard line and lose flying fumble to trailing Navy defensive end Dave Stjuggerud at 17-yard line. Colorado upset number 8 Colorado beat number 10 Missouri in the top 10 matchup 7-6 in favor of Colorado over Missouri. Coming calling was Nemesis Missouri with a 5-1-2 record against Colorado since 1953. So it was time for Colorado to snatch Big 8 control. So in the second quarter, Buffalo's halfback Leon Mavety sprinted past midfield on 25 yards. The punt return, it allowed quarterback Gail Wiener to hit fullback Bill Harris with a 21-yard touchdown pass and dime on the first half, followed by extra point kick by kicker Jerry Halliburton, who caught a 3-yard pass for play drive. Colorado took inside track to Orangeburg, but not before Missouri finished 63-yard march early in the fourth quarter with halfback Darryl Krugman taking pitch out from quarterback Ron Taylor and tossing pass to end Don Wainwright for 10-yard touchdown. The same play in symmetrical direction failed to net 2 points, as halfback Mike Hunter's throw fell harmlessly past end zone. Halfback kicker Bill Tobin was short. The 44-yard field goal try from Tigers' desperate late attempt to still win. Wichita beat Oklahoma State 25-13. Next, Arkansas beat Texas A&M by a score of 15-8 as the bumbling Arkansas Razorbacks marched up and down field to a total of 345 yards to 138 yards advantage. 345 yards to 138 yards advantage from an offensive standpoint, but trailed Aggies most of the second half until finally piecing together an artful 90-yard drive to winning touchdown in the game's last minute. Now halfback Paul Dudley had scored on a 17-yard run in first quarter for 7-0 Hogs lead. Less than 5 minutes into the third quarter, Texas A&M scored following Arkansas quarterback George McKinney's fumble at his 11-yard line only one play after A&M punter Babe Craig had booted Razorbacks to their 7-yard line. Aggies fullback Leroy Caffrey blasted over from 1-yard line, and Aggies earned a 1-point lead as in Bobby Huntington got towed inbounds at back of the end zone on 2-point catch. So, the Texas A&M defensive back Travis Reagan made his third interception, returned it 16 yards to the Hogs' 26-yard line inside last 8 minutes of the fourth quarter. Now this turnover appeared to doom Arkansas, but Hogs halfback defensive back Darrell Williams tipped away fourth down running pass by A&M halfback Jim Linstater. So Razorbacks took over on the 10-yard line with 4:51 left. So after 2 drop passes, Hogs used pass by halfback Lance Allworth off reverse run, which Dudley hauled in for a 36-yard gain. And McKinney mixed in runs with 8 and 12-yard passes and looked off Allworth, cutting to middle of end zone to Loft. A touchdown pass to end Jimmy John for winning touchdown. And McKinney followed with 2-point pass to W. Finally, Arizona beat Wyoming by a score of 20-15. Enjoying its only year as independent, Arizona bounced back after having its 11-game unbeaten streak squashed the previous week 27-23 by West Texas State. The Wildcats allowed considerable ground yards near midfield, but fashioned stubborn defense around center linebacker Bob Garris, who had 14 tackles, defensive back Ed Pollard, who had 13 tackles, and in first half allowed only Cowboys halfback Mike Walker to score on a 2-yard run. At the 7-7 halftime tie, Wyoming gambled for 2 points in the fourth quarter. So after halfback Dick Banning had blasted over for a touchdown and Walker caught conversion pass 15-14 lead, Arizona had stopped 4 Wyoming plungers from 1 feet away from goal line in third quarter. Finally retaliated in the final 132 of the game on quarterback Eddie Wilson's 33-yard touchdown pass to ace halfback Bobby Thompson. Second scoring connection of second half for that sharp duo. Wilson also converted the 4th and 4 pass for Wyoming on the winning drive. So that concludes a look at Week 7, the week that was college history review, the week that was Week 7, the games that were played on November 4th, 1961. Now let's look at the AP poll as of November 6th. The top 10 had Texas at number 1, number 2, Alabama, number 3, Ohio State, number 4, Louisiana State, number 5, Minnesota, number 6, Michigan State, number 7, Mississippi, number 8, Colorado, number 9, Georgia Tech, and number 10, Missouri. Now that concludes the top 10. Look at who was in the top 10 as of November 6th as the AP poll is concerned. And the week that was Week 7, November 4th, 1961. That concludes a look at the games that were played during that week. Subscribe to the channel, like, comment, do what you can to support the channel. This is Rashad Mitchell, comes to you live from my YouTube channel. Until then, like, support, and comment on the channel. Like, support, and comment, and subscribe to the channel. Once you check the video out. Until then, talk to you tomorrow.